Hello and welcome to Bonsai with Tom. Today we're going to be working on my Frankie Corkbark Dwarf Jade. This is a super special, probably the most desirable and I think beautiful variety of Portucaria Afra Dwarf Jade. And this is mine. I've had this one for a while. In fact, this was the first Frankie I got. I didn't even realize what they were. And the amazing thing about this variety is the bark. I mean, just look at this. You get this nice corking on the bark when they're. I think it starts when they're about 5, 6 years old, but that varies. This one's interesting. It's got this coily root system. Let me just take. I think I'm gonna take this wire off. We'll start there because this tree. I repotted this tree. I call this my oak tree bonsai. And honestly, it looked more like an oak tree when it was in the previous pot. It was in this blue Japanese octagon pot. And now I have it in this beautiful green Japanese pot. I'm a sucker for Japanese pots. But look at the bark on this. And, I just love the way it comes down. And, coiling roots usually aren't advantageous on a bonsai, but this to me it looks like it's kind of grabbing the soil like an eagle claw, and I like it. So the plan for today, if we look at this guy, I just haven't pruned it in a while. In fact, I'd have to go back and look at the channel, and I'll put a link in the video description to the playlist, and you can go back and see when we last pruned it and watch all those videos if you want. But yeah, if I look at it, it's just, you can see it's got some strong growth on the top here, which you really want to watch on this variety of dwarf jade because, it really starts cooking with gas after a while and the growth can take off and it'll really thicken up. So you want to head that off at the pass and keep what you want your finer branches on the tree prune back so that they don't get overly thick. And you can see I've let this one go a bit, and so we've got some long shoots I want to take off. I want to thin out the top here. It's looking a bit not bad, but it's got a little much going on. And yeah, I think the rest of it, I can also see there's a lot of growth. I have this little bit here at the bottom, but I'm just kind of letting that grow because I want to get some thickness on the bottom. I kind of like this tree. You'll see it more as we prune it, but the roots go to the left, and then it has this. I don't know. It's not the main branch, but it's a branch that grabs your eye over here in the right that goes to the right. And we'll just start by cutting back. Start with the easy stuff to start with. We'll just cut back these long, thick shoots, which make amazing cuttings. So I always propagate these because these are such a special variety of dwarf jade. I mean, it's even harder and harder to find these Frankie varieties. Although there is a guy in Chicago, of all places, has a greenhouse year round and he raises them. So seek him out if you want one. I really can't recommend them enough. It's just an incredible variety to have in your collection. So I'm just kind of rocking and rolling on this, just doing profile pruning. And I always recommend this, like, if you don't have time to prune your trees or you're learning how to prune a tree, you can always start by just cutting it to the outline shape that you find pleasing, right? And that's usually a pretty good start, and it'll prevent like rampant growth to kind of make things thick at the top and get things out of whack. So it's always not a bad place to start, and it's often where I start. Um, and then it's sort of like you take a baby step and another baby step and another baby step before you know it, you're done. And you can see here I've got a lot of growth going to the inside. So like on this branch, it's kind of growing across. And you just can't use that unless you're going to prune everything from that point out and regrow the whole branch. I'll cut this one off shorter too. Don't need all that. But here's another one. It's just kind of growing to the inside of the tree, and you really want stuff to kind of go up and out. Sometimes it can come straight up, but you really kind of want it going out at an angle, like away from the center of the tree. And if it's not, like this, just cut it off because it'll just be a bigger and bigger problem, and it'll contribute to making that branch much thicker than what you probably want it to be. So I'm just continuing around and taking this stuff that's growing, across the trunk or crossing other branches and just removing that. And people are always looking for like a step-by-step way to prune. It's definitely hard to just do that. I'm going to shorten that thick one up because I want this branch to go out a bit. And yeah, see, all this stuff is just kind of growing to the inside of the tree, and it'll just create a jumbled mess. And so, if you want a step by step, I don't know, maybe profile prune and then get rid of crossing stuff or stuff growing to the inside of the tree, stuff that grows straight up, straight down. I can always say this stuff again and again, but it bears repeating. Like it really, you know, I don't know. Once you've been doing this for a few years, you're just kind of just automatically pruning and then using those kind of basic rules and what looks good to you. And then also just thinning stuff out. You want, um, I mean, you want the tree to look full and thick, but it can't be that way all the time. So you oscillate between pruning it and then getting some finer growth and then pruning that, and you get closer and closer to what you want. Um, I'm looking at this branch here. It's really kind of long and straight, but I'm just going to prune up the tree. And that's another thing I often do is after you kind of get, I just do the easiest stuff first, right? And keep doing that. And then you can actually see the whole tree. And then you might want to make some fine tuning on, shortening major branches or even sometimes removing them because it's very hard to um, see that, uh, without kind of removing some of the foliage because it's just a mass of green. It's great if you can do that because if you can identify something that you don't want right away, it just kind of gives you more options with what's left. So if you can do that, it's fabulous, but it's not always easy. So as I mentioned, this was my first Frankie. I got it off of. I have several now. I think this is my best one. I mean, it's not the best from a classic bonsai shape, but it's my favorite one. Guess I should put it that way because some of the trunks are, the coiled roots, and you'll see some of the branches here. The main branches are not quite standard form, but I like it, so I don't care. It's like most of my trees, they're for me, and I'm sure over time I will modify it and it'll adopt a more classic form. But for now, they're for me. They make me happy, and I really enjoy this tree. But as I was saying, I got this off eBay, and I was really just looking for Portuguese Afra. This may have been the first or second one that I actually bought, and it's evolved a lot since then. Like I said, check out the playlist. And I think I even have a progression video where I show that. But yeah, I was very pleased when I got it, and then I kind of delved into this whole, oh, well, who's Frank Yee? And then I kind of figured all that out, and I cover a lot of that in those videos, so check them out. But yeah, this, I grew this out. I've pruned and a lot of branches off it. A lot of the mame trees I have in my small mame tray that I've had on the channel multiple times came from large cuttings from this sort of instant, beautiful little bonsai. I've repotted it once. I do like this pot. For whatever reason, I mean, I think it works well with a tree. This is a very feminine tree. You can really kind of see the shape now, where it looks almost like, I don't know, like an Italian statue kind of woman leaning against something, where sort of the legs are off to the one side and then the main body's off to the left, from the front view and like this view. And it's just a very feminine shape, which I really like. And so I do think I will go back to more of an oval or round pot shape because I think it just fits that tree better. You can really see hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. I really do love just the shape of this tree and its kind of essence. I think one of my regular watchers calls it a dyad, and which I looked that up. But see, if I cut this off, I like that even better. I'm a little worried because the growth is a little weak right there, but see how that branch is just so straight. I really think that will enhance it. So I'm definitely going to do that. And this branch here is also a bit long, but I just kind of like it. And you can see this bit in the back here. Um, there is a back branch, and I'll turn it around. You can see it, and I find this a little distracting. So I'm just going to take that off, just because it. Um, I just don't think I need it, and it gives a little more space for that back branch to really develop. So you can see, I think that that looks better. I mean, there's still foliage back there, but it's from the back branch, not from the, I guess, it's really the primary branch, although it almost looks like a secondary branch on the right, which, as I said, it's not kind of a classical style. It kind of comes out and up and out, but I really like it. It's a bit parallel to the main trunk, but for now I'm keeping it. And I think this back branch is looking okay. I think the main thing that I really want to do, this is a little distracting if it kind of went because it's kind of going across and into the towards the trunk. And if I were a fan of wiring, I would go ahead and wire that. But let's keep going and then we'll see. I mean, I always can put a little bit of wire, just kind of put a guy wire on it and change the direction or cut it and regrow it how I want. But I just want to finish thinning out here a bit first and then we'll take another look at it. I mean, I do think, you really do have to kind of look and cut and look and cut. To just get the aesthetic look that you want, especially in the final, um, I don't know, details of when you're kind of finishing pruning a tree, because it can take some time, and you really don't want to cut something that. I know I move kind of fast, but I think when most people are doing this, they kind of take a lot more time looking at it. I just sort of do this blink thinking and just go with what my brain identifies. So if you don't prune this fast, don't worry about it. I think I'm just an unusually fast pruner. So I've been just thinning the top out here a bit and just trying to get the top down. I mean, it's sort of, at this point, kind of a flat top tree, and, I really want to get some more width to it because I think it'll kind of fill out the canopy. And I don't envision the canopy being super tall. I kind of like to keep my trees short and squat. It's just a preference. I don't know. They look good to me that way, so that's kind of how I often work on them. And as I've said many times in the channel, um, I'd rather have a lot of small trees rather than less larger trees. So I really gravitate to those sizes and just find them charming to work with. And I think it's actually looking pretty good. I think the top, um, still needs a bit more thinning here, but we're kind of getting close to sort of how I like that to look. And I guess then the other thing with the Frank Yi stuff, it's a strong grower too. I mean, it's not only does it look good, it's just genetically good. And I don't know. I've only got, let me see, two of these that I actually bought straight up as separate plants, and I've created many different cuttings from those as I do pruning and whatnot. But they're both very strong growers. So it's just a good all around variety from any angle I found so far. Let me thin this out a bit. I really want to encourage. I want to shorten this branch eventually, so I want to kind of take it back so that it'll encourage more growth further down the uh, the branch, and maybe I'd even go that short. But this tree's so important to me. I want to I want to get a stronger branch or two out there before I make that cut, because sometimes when you cut these, you almost always get new growth, but it's not guaranteed. And so if you really, really want it in a certain place, you're better off going more slowly and waiting until you get some stronger growth there, and then cutting it. That's almost 100% safe. So I keep looking at this branch and I'm tempted to just cut it off, but as I said, I think when I finally shorten this, I don't mind having it kind of go away and then to the left of us, if I can do that. So I think I'll just maybe cut it a bit shorter and try to encourage it to do that and come out this way. Um, because I think I could actually use that, and I think it's in line with my plan of shortening that whole branch pretty significantly by, I don't know, a third to 50%. Because I think it'll just look, I don't know, more in scale with the rest of the branches and the rest of the tree, um, for sure. And as I'm doing this, sort of a thought for the day kind of occurred to me, and that is, um, I mean, this tree is a great example. Like most of it's like a journey, right? Like you get a tree and you have a certain idea of how you want it to look, and you're working with that, and then you see something different that kind of changes your mind, and maybe you prune something, or maybe you change the angle of the tree, or you put it in a different pot, or something bad happens to it and a branch dies, and then you have to rethink your design. Like it's a journey, right? It's sort of like a person through their life, right? You sort of grow and you have great times and you have bad times that form your views and your opinions about things and develop your grit and determination. And trees are very much like that. So it's really a journey. So don't get discouraged. Just keep working on it, and it'll work out. Like, and I sort of see with this one now. You can see as this fills out sort of what my vision of this is. I sort of want the foliage to kind of come out to the edge of the pod and maybe even slightly wider than that because I think it'll look great. And it's again another example of life's a journey for you. It's a journey for your trees. You can take it together. Things aren't always great, and things are constantly changing. And you work with what you have in the moment, and you enjoy it, and you find happiness in that. And I think that's a good strategy for life and for bonsai. And yeah, that's our mini victory lap. I don't know. Maybe I do like this pot. I really like the color of it. These Japanese pots really. I don't know what it is. Like I have all kinds of pots, but the aesthetic of them just very much appeals to me. And I think you can hear Mabel back there saying, "Yay!" She likes Japanese pots. And just to put my hand there once again, we will be making that cut in a future video. Um, and I think I dare not take off anymore at the moment. And so this one will go back on the bench and continue to grow. And we'll probably prune it in, I don't know, a few more months. I did want to show you the top. Like I often forget to do this, but it's hard to make these videos, and I see it in 3D, and so it really does make the pruning a lot easier. And I think when I should probably do this more often, so you can sort of see the tree from the top down, because um, it just helps you envision the whole shape of the tree, and I think some of the cuts I make, I don't know, probably make more sense if you can see the tree from the top, and so I will try to remember to do that. But what a wonderful little Frankie corkbark. It's my favorite Frankie. I really like this tree. And, as usual, I want to thank you all for spending time with me and watching my video. And I'll see you all again very soon. And I always want to say I very much appreciate the comments and, the likes and the kind words in the comments. I really enjoy that. And with that, I'll see you all again next week.